Okay, let's look at first half wave rectifier. So this is the circuit diagram of half wave rectifier. So you will have a transformer which is of n is to 1 step down transformer. You will apply 220 volt RMS voltage which is of 50 hertz. What I mean by this means we, you might be knowing that this relation Vrms is equal to V maximum divided by root 2. So if you will calculate V maximum will be 220 into root 2 because RMS voltage is 220 and this root 2 is multiplied here. So this is my Vm. So means we are applying a signal with Vm value 220 root 2 and it's a sinusoidal signal sin omega t. Okay, by default you have to assume, and omega will be 2 pi 50. 50 is the frequency because okay. So this is what you are applying from this side, and n is to 1 is the step down transformer. So you will be having a voltage here at this location will be Vs is equal to Vm sin omega t. Vm is this guy, okay, sin omega t, which is same as this guy. Now what will happen, uh, depending upon the cycle, this is how the Vs will look like: a sinusoidal signal with maximum value Vm. Pi 2 pi is the time period, and it's with respect to omega t. Okay, for positive half cycle only diode will conduct, and for negative half cycle it will not conduct because there is nothing in the right hand side of diode, means n is not connected to any voltage source, whereas p is connected to Vs. That too, if positive half cycle means it will short, and for negative half cycle it will be open. So in the negative half cycle there won't be any current flowing because it is open, and open circuit will not complete a loop, so there won't be any current. And in positive half cycle this diode will behave short, okay, short, so it will provide a closed loop, and because of that the current will flow, and this is the curve of the current. Okay, the curve will also be a sinusoidal current. I am writing IL because it is flowing through load resistance, okay, which will look like this: Im sin omega t between 0 to pi and 0 for pi to 2 pi. Okay, this is IL versus omega t, which is maximum value is Im is the current flowing. Okay, so this is what you will get at the output, and this is what you are applying here as the input. Okay, so you can see the difference. the 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 negative half cycle is clipped off in the current, and only we have this bulk, means a curve half cycle at the output of the rectifier. Okay, so this is uh, the half wave rectifier. Now we will see the parameters of this um, curve. Okay, and what all other parameters it provides with us. So it's a first rectifier, it's a basic rectifier, starting rectifier that you can build most easiest. One RL, one diode, and one transformer you will require. At the output you will get this thing. This is not as exactly as pulsating, but we will see how things will proceed. Okay, so we were able to chop off this negative half cycle. Now our main aim is to make this DC. Okay, still we are not there, so this rectifier is providing this difference between input and output. Okay, now we will see the parameters. Okay, let's look at our first parameter. So area under curve divided by 2 pi, that is average current, which we were representing by IDC. Okay, I'm just calculating the average of this signal, so that will give me average current. Okay, average load current, or IDC I am representing it with. So IDC will be equal to 1 upon 2 pi. 2 pi is the time period, 0 to time period, 2 pi is the time period, 0 to 2 pi integration IL d omega t. Okay, IL is Im sin omega t for 0 to pi, and it is 0 for pi to 2 pi, that is y plus 0. Okay, this is as it is. Now notice here it is with respect to d omega t. Okay, then 1 by 2 pi Im So this is 0, and Im I have taken outside because it is not dependent upon omega t. Sin omega t will give cos omega t minus cos omega t, and it is going from 0 to pi. So you will get 1 by 2 pi Im minus cos pi. I will put the value of pi at not at t, I will put at omega t because the integration is with respect to omega t. So in place of omega t I once put pi and 0. Okay, so minus cos pi minus of minus cos 0. I have applied the limits. So you will get this is minus 1 into minus into minus 1, that will give you 1, and here it is cos 0 is also 1. So 1 plus 1 will be 2, and 2 and 2 will get cancelled here. So 1 Im by pi what you will get. So this is the average current of half wave rectifier or IDC current. Sometimes in DC current is also called as average current, which is Im by pi. Okay, this is the maximum value Im by pi. So this is the relation you will get. Okay, let's look at next quantity, that is called VDC, output voltage, DC output voltage. Now VDC can be calculated into IDC into RL. IDC we have calculated in last step. So if I'll put the value of IDC, Im divided by pi into RL, which will become VDC. Now if you want more specific value, so we can calculate the value of Im in this fashion. So the diode will be showing some forward resistance, load resistance is there, and there can be a secondary resistance as well of the transformer. This is primary side, secondary side. So secondary side can have its resistance Rs as well. Okay, so total resistance will be Rs, Rf plus RL, Rs plus Rs, Rs plus Rf plus RL. Current is Im, and voltage, maximum voltage will be Vm. Okay, across this circuit. So Im can be written as Vm divided by Rs plus Rf plus RL. Okay, Vm divided by total resistance, voltage upon resistance is equal to current. Okay, this is what we get. And if you plug the value of Im here, you will get VDC is equal to Vm divided by Rs plus Rf plus RL into RL divided by pi. So this will be more accurate in terms of voltage. Input voltage we know, the RL, Rs, Rf, RL, these all things we know. Okay, here Im was means not direct, means if Im will be given then it's fine, but this is more direct because all the terms we will be knowing. This we have to calculate only, so it's better to remember this expression rather than this one. Okay, because anyway we have to find Im, and this is the way we find Im, and then we plug. So you will get VDC is equal to VMRL divided by pi Rs plus Rf plus RL. Okay, so it is not dependent upon the value of the current which we calculated here. Okay, this current, it is only dependent upon the maximum value of input signal Rs, RL, Rf, and that's all, the output DC voltage. Okay, so let's look at the third property, which is RMS current. Now mostly you might think RMS value can be Im divided by root 2, but that is not. It is for sine signal. The real definition is this one, where RMS will be root mean square. Okay, so root mean means average, 1 by 2 pi 0 to 2 pi d omega t square, root mean square, root mean square value. So for any signal, whenever you are going for calculating the root mean square value or RMS value, then you have to follow this process. Okay, this is not a sine signal, the current. Okay, this is a part of a sine signal. It would have been sine signal if there will be a negative half as well. Okay, we have this signal whose value is Im sine omega t, but between 0 to pi. If it would have been 0 to 2 pi, one full cycle of sine signal, then I could have written Im divided by root 2, like here I wrote. It is a pure sinusoidal signal, and that's the reason I wrote Vrms is equal to Vm by root 2, and this relation is valid if it would have been full sine signal, but we have only a part of it. So we go to the real definition, how to calculate RMS value, that is root mean square. Okay, square value of IL. So our IL is this guy. So I'll plug the value of IL. So you'll get IRMS is equal to under root 1 by 2 pi Im square. This is Im square sine square omega t d omega t, and this is going from 0 to pi, since from pi to 2 pi it is 0. Okay, so now if you will solve it, this guy, integration guy, will give pi by 2. 0 to pi sine square omega t d omega t will give you pi by 2, and if you will solve this, you will get IRMS is equal to Im by 2. Okay, simple relation. So IDC value is the average value, IRMS is a root mean square value. Okay, and VDC we have seen, it's a DC output voltage. Now we will move on. Okay, one more thing I can add, I believe. Along with this, we can also have VRMS at RL, that will be Vm by 2. Okay. Okay, so we can also have VRMS RL at RL, the RMS voltage Vm by 2. Why? Because at the output, if you will see the curve for voltage VL, it will also look like this. Okay, it is just a voltage between 0 to pi, and its value will be Vm. Why? Because and if this is the curve, that this will be the RMS value, the same calculation by this. But why this value voltage will be here? Because when the diode will be conducting, this will behave as a short circuit, so this voltage will appear here. Okay, but only 1/2 cycle, and this voltage is Vm sin omega t, so that is why you are getting same signal as what you are applying at the input, but for 1/2 cycle. This is the voltage across the load. Okay, and for this we have seen the average value and the DC output voltage we have seen, and this is the RMS value as well. Okay, for this signal VL we have RMS value Vm by 2, and we have calculated the DC output voltage across this load as well. Okay, so you can imagine, if you have to calculate the VRMS value at RL, then imagine this signal, because diode will be short and the same voltage will appear for the 1/2 cycle. Okay, which will look like this only. Okay, let's look at the quantity ripple factor. So ripple factor is basically the ripples. So you can see this is the kind of signal we saw. So these are called as ripples. Okay, we want a flat line, but we get some ripples. Just when you drop a stone in river or pool, then ripples start flows, right? That kind of ripple it is in our signal, which we don't want. So ripple factor is a way which tells quantity, means numerically it will tell how many means what are the ripple size. The more the value of the ripple factor, the more the ripples will be, and which is what we don't want. If the ripple factor is very less, which is good thing, means there will be very less ripples, which we want in making DC. Okay, so that is what you can imagine from ripple factor. Now how do we calculate it? It is defined as RMS value of alternating component divided by average value. Okay, alternating currents RMS value divided by average value. So let's say I dash is AC current, IDC is DC current, and I is total current. They are related as I is equal to I dash plus IDC. AC component plus DC component is total current. Okay, and IRMS dash is the RMS value of this alternating current, AC current. Okay, so that is how it is defined. IRMS dash is equal to under root 1 by 2 pi 0 to 2 pi I dash square d omega t, RMS value of this current, and the total current is IDC plus I dash. Now ripple factor is this IRMS dash divided by IDC. Okay, this IDC. So what we will do next is we will plug the value of I dash from here to here. We will calculate IRMS dash, we will plug here, and we will get a relation of ripple factor. Okay, a general relation. Okay, so now let's look at the um, uh, derivation. So I dash is I minus IDC. Now wait, right? So I dash I have written in terms of I and IDC. Now I'll plug the value of I dash in IRMS dash expression. So that will be under root 1 by 2 pi 0 to 2 pi I minus IDC square d omega t. Okay, I have replaced the value of I dash with I minus IDC square. If you will open this square, you will get 3 terms, 1, 2, 3. So I square minus 2 IIDC and IDC square. Okay, so 3 terms. So and rest of them are multiplied. So you will get I RMS dash square. I have taken the under root this side, so square 1 by 2 pi 0 to 2 pi I square d omega t minus 2 divided by 2 pi IDC 0 to 2 pi I d omega t IDC square 2 pi divided by 2 pi 0 to 2 pi d omega t. Okay, I've just opened the square. Now what will happen? This can be written as IRMS square, whatever the current is, its RMS value it is indicating, and its square because under root is not there. Okay, that is IRMS dash square. Okay, here minus 2 IDC square. This IDC is as it is, 2 is as it is, and the rest of the term you can see 1 by 2 pi 0 to 2 pi I d of omega t is DC value of I. Okay, so that's why it's becoming square, and this is IDC square because this term will be 1. This integration will give 2 pi 2 pi 2 pi gets cancelled and 1 you will get. So this is the expression minus 2 IDC square, and this guy will cancel. So IRMS square minus IDC square will be IRMS dash square. This will be the expression what you will get. Now if you will plug this expression of IRMS dash in ripple factor, you will get IRMS dash divided by I average, which is IDC, and here if you will plug this value with under root, since it is a square, under root IRMS square minus IDC square divided by IDC, and that under root is in numerator only. If you will take common and put IDC inside under root, you will get this expression. So RF is equal to over under root of IRMS divided by IDC whole square minus 1. Okay, so this is the expression of RF. I have not included the concept of these things. Okay, I have calculated in general if there is a current, alternating current I, which is a combination of I dash and IDC, then this will be the ripple factor. We have to take its RMS value, divide by its average value, which is DC value, square it minus 1. Okay, under root. That will be the, it will give the value of ripple factor. Okay, once we get the general expression of RF under root IRMS divided by IDC whole square minus 1, this is the general expression. Now we will involve our half wave rectifier. For half wave rectifier, we know IRMS is Im by 2, IDC was Im by pi. If you plug these two values here, you will get RF for half wave rectifier will be under root Im by 2, Im by pi whole square minus 1. Im will get cancelled. This will give pi by 2 square minus 1 under root. If you will plug the value of pi 3.5